So I believe making a winning March Madness bracket is about predicting the chaos. It's about recognizing patterns that repeat every single year. Welcome back to 2KO Takes, and Selection Sunday is almost here. The field of 68 is about to drop, and millions of brackets are about to be filled out, and most of them dead by the first weekend. Not because March is so random, but because people ignore the patterns. In my last video, I broke down the myths that kill brackets every year, and today we're going to flip that. These are the March Madness facts that actually win brackets. The first fact I want to discuss is that momentum going to March matters. And I know some people hate the word momentum because they think it's narrative based, but the data in recent March Madness events have really backed this one up. I'm not talking about a random 4-game win streak in February. I'm talking about teams that are playing their best basketball late in February and during conference tournament week. Teams that are trending upward statistically. Let's just take a look at last year's March Madness. Two teams that nobody thought would make it as far as they did. 2025 Michigan and 2025 BYU. Both were playing their best basketball entering the tournament after a disappointing start to the season. And then you have 2024 NC State, who caught fire in its conference tournament and carried that belief into a deep run. But why does momentum matter so much? And I believe it's because basketball is rhythm based. Defensive rotations get sharper deep into the season, your offensive spacing improves, role players shoot with more confidence, close game execution gets cleaner, and teams peaking late trend to have their identity fully formed. These teams tend to have deep runs, but the teams that actually win it all usually have been really consistent in the season and have really good offensive and defensive efficiency. So the real formula is elite metrics plus late season rhythm. When those two combine, you have a real contender. Don't just look at the overall record, look at how the team is playing in its last 8 to 10 games. That trend truly matters. And then the second fact I want to discuss is that you need more than one star player. This one is massive. Single elimination basketball exposes one-man teams immediately. When there's only one primary creator, defensive game plans become simple. Trap him, force the ball out of his hands, make someone else beat you. And in March, that someone else often can't. The most recent examples I have for you is Marquette. They leaned so heavily on Cam Jones as the primary option, but they really struggled when that player is neutralized. Mississippi State had stretches where offensive creation was too dependent on Josh Hubbard. These kind of teams work well in January, but it doesn't win 6 straight elimination games. Let's take a look at the teams that win. 2025 Florida had a legitimate big three and bench players who could step up on any given night. 2023 UConn had a balanced attack with multiple double-digit scores. 2022 Kansas had NBA level contributors. 2021 Baylor had 3 elite guards and depth everywhere. 2018 Villanova had 4 legitimate scoring threats. So there's clearly a pattern here. Champions have answers. When the first option has an off night, someone else steps up. When foul trouble hits, there's depth. And when defenses overcommit, there's a secondary creator ready to attack. So in March, somebody is going to play bad and somebody will get into foul trouble. And if a team doesn't have multiple shot creators and scoring threats, the odds of surviving 6 games are incredibly low. Depth wins, balance wins, and multiple stars wins you a championship. And the final fact that wins March Madness brackets I want to discuss is big men win early games. This one is especially important for your first and second round picks. A lot of these matchups are coin flips like a 7 versus 10, a 6 versus 11, and some 5 versus 12 games. People overanalyze guard play and shooting variance, but early in the tournament, physical mismatches are magnified. When a higher or lower seeded team rolls out a legitimate 7-footer with strength, rebounding presence, and rim protection, smaller mid-majors and high majors struggle to deal with it on short preparation time. Last year's Purdue's Trey Kaufman-Renn was a key reason they took out number 13 High Point and number 12 McNeese. Michigan overpowered Loyola Chicago in the Final Four years ago. And also last year we had Oregon's Nate Biddle dominating Liberty on the inside. And St. Mary's also out-rebounded the smaller Vanderbilt last year as well. So rebounding margin and interior scoring decide those early, very close matchups. And smaller programs often rely on guard play, spacing, and three-point shooting. And yes, that does create some upsets, but if they can't finish inside and can't defend the rim, that game tilts quickly towards the other side. Offense rebounds leads to extra possessions, and that's huge in March. So here's my philosophy. It's very popular to say that guards win in March, but here's what I believe. Size wins early, and guards win late. As the tournament progresses, the matchups tighten, elite guard play becomes the separator. That's what decides Elite 8 and Final 4 games, but in the first weekend, when prep time is limited and physical mismatches are clear, dominant big men often tip the scale. So if we take a step back and look at the full picture, here's what actually wins brackets, at least in my opinion. Teams peaking at the right time, teams with multiple shot creators and scoring options, and in the early rounds, teams that can control the paint and win the rebounding battle. Now, March Madness feels chaotic because of the format, but when you zoom out, the same traits pop up every year. And if you combine this video with the myths I broke down earlier, you now have both sides to the equation. Avoid the traps, lean into the patterns, and when the bracket drops, don't rush, study the matchups, look at recent form, look at depth, look at size, look at the guard play, look at it all, because the perfect bracket might be impossible, but a smart bracket, that's absolutely attainable. So like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I have a March Madness video dropping every single day until the big dance starts officially on March 19th. So if you subscribe, you're going to be eating good. But thank you all for watching, and God bless you all.